welcome to KTN News Desk this Monday. My name is Grace Nganga. The highlights. President William Ruto presides over the 11th National and County Governments Coordinating Summit. Clinical officers stage demonstrations of a rollout of the Social Health Authority as doctors demand implementation of the collective bargaining agreements. At least one person injured and property of unverified value destroyed during an inferno at Mukuru settlement here in Nairobi.
Kwa wiki nzima tunaweza pata chakula mara 3 mara 4.
Plus, residents of North Port constituency in Marsabit County still struggling to bounce back on their feet after ravaging drought amid calls for humanitarian aid to ease suffering. Welcome on board. Now, President William Ruto this morning presided over the 11th National and County Governments Coordinating Summit at State House, Nairobi. The meeting comes as counties grapple with a financial cash crunch. Ruto announced that his administration will complete the transfer of all devolved functions.
Gazettement of the unbundled functions and transfer of the remaining county functions, as well as the attendant resources. 2. Finalization of the long-standing valuation of assets of the defunct local authorities and devolved functions exercise. 3. Establishment of sector forums for sectors that don't have them and inauguration of sector forums for the existing ones. This will be a game changer and will allow the summit to deliberate on critical matters of national concern.
Every county stands to benefit with 124,000 housing units currently at various stages of development, out of which we have a target of 840,000 units that are already in the pipeline over the next 4 years. For the record, the scale, boldness, and ambition of Taifa Care are unprecedented, and we are confident that the challenges that became part of this program initially have now been overcome.
Now, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, has Monday morning presided over the signing of performance contracts for the financial year 2024-2025 with the Principal Secretary, State Department for Diaspora Affairs, Roslyn Jogu, at the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary at Railways Headquarters in Nairobi. Mudavadi said the performance contracts outline government strategic goals and measurable targets within various cadres of public service delivery and are aimed at enhancing public safety and security while upgrading the delivery of services to citizens. Mudavadi said this annual exercise is a cornerstone of accountability and it provides a structured framework to track the progress of the government's development programs and policy implementation. Mudavadi, who is also acting Cabinet Secretary, Interior and National Administration, also witnessed the signing of performance contracts with the chairperson of Council of Foreign Service Academy.
Take off now, particularly some of our institutions that have not yet signed their pieces. As we take off now, I think the road ahead is much more clearer.
We're looking forward to an exciting, well, really half of the year of finishing the implementation of this contract. We've had a fantastic and very, very busy year already. But looking forward to really drilling in and getting the work done.
Now, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has staged demonstrations today, marching from Kenyatta National Hospital to Nairobi Hospital and then to Afya House, the headquarters of the Ministry of Health. The Doctors Union is demanding the implementation of the 2017 collective bargaining agreement, as well as payment for junior doctors who they say have not been paid in 4 months.
Officers, it must be noted that the people that have been entrusted with the leadership by the current government are casting aspersion to clinical officers to the extent of limiting their practice, as the chair has said, and that is why we are here today. As he has highlighted, we have two issues that we are fronting, mainly that is affecting our practice as clinical officers, and of course affecting patients by limiting key services to them. The first issue is where the Ministry of Health, in conjunction with the Social Health Authority, have single-handedly decided to discriminate facilities owned by clinical officers by not contracting them under what they call empanelment. And that is what we stand here against. We stand against lawlessness. We stand against criminal people who are actually perpetuating corruption in the Ministry of Health and the Social Health Authority. As we speak here today, we are complaining about over 1,000 facilities that were owned by clinical officers and they were empaneled under the NHF. And they have now been denied the right to see patients. And unfortunately, it is not all patients. It is patients who are registered under the Social Health Authority. And that is what we call discriminating patients. The other aspect to this issue is where the Ministry of Health, in conjunction with the same board, that is the Social Health Authority board, and I must be specific and categorical, where we know that the people who are leading these anti-reform decisions is the Director General and the Chair, Social Health Authority. These are the people who have decided again to withdraw the clinical officer specialist right for pre-authorization. One thing is that pre-authorization, when we talk about this, it looks more of a terminology. But what we are saying, before you see or do any procedure on a patient registered under Social Health Authority, you must fill a form that you are going to perform a procedure that is going to cost a certain amount. And that amount, you must be allowed by that Social Health Authority for you to perform that procedure. Now they are saying you will not do it directly.
All right, and we hope that the ministry will intervene. Now, more than 50 households have been razed down following a fire incident Sunday night in Mukuru, Kanjenga, Nairobi. According to Osonsi Mogire, community chairman, the fire that started at around 6 p.m. was caused by an exploding gas cylinder in one of the houses. Victims say there was a delay in response by firefighters, hence calling on the county government to construct proper roads in the area and to find firefighters closer to ensure fast response to fires. The chairman has called on the government to help the affected residents as they have no food, clothes or a place to sleep.
Mwendo wa saa moja hivi tu moto ilianza kwa jirani na ikaenea kabisa kabisa. After 2 hours ikanifikia, bado masima moto iko imefika, imechoma place kubwa. Vile mnaniona hivyo, hata sina nguo, pesa imepotelea kwa nyumba, hata watoto hakuna mmoja ako na nguo hata moja anaweza vaa, hata chakula zote zilimechomeka.
Tulikuwa tunajaribu kupiga 911, tunakuta iko busy. Ikiingia nao makelele ni mengi, hatuwezi kuwasiliana. Majirani wakajaribu kupoesha.
Tunaomba tu viongozi waangalie watu Waislamu sana. Tuseme ya kwamba nyumba za mabati ziko na shida. Hapana, hata nyumba ya mawe inachomekanga, lakini tuangaliwe. Hivyo tu.
Hatujui vile county ndio sababu tunaomba, hatujui vile tafikiria, kwa sababu kuna wale hawana manguo, kuna wale hawana vitu ya kujifunika, kuna wale hawana marazi, kuna wale hawana mahali watarara. wengine tumerara hapa kwa moto.
Hatujawahi kuona usaidizi ya kutosha kwa sababu kitu kikubwa ni barabara inatakana. Chochoro tunazo mingi lakini barabara mzuri hatuna bado.
Quite sad, some sad news there. ODM deputy party leader, who is also the Vihiga Senator Godfrey Osotsi, has criticized the judiciary of the settlement situation facing IEBC. In an exclusive interview in Vihiga, Osotsi said judiciary is becoming a stumbling block in the process of reconstituting IEBC panel by nullifying laws which was meant to guide the panel. Osotsi claimed that there could be a hidden agenda of the delayed process of IEBC, alluding that someone could be behind it to avoid the country from holding elections come 2027. He warned judges that they should be able to read the mood of the country and allow the process proceed as required by the Constitution.
The other day I saw one of the judges of the Supreme Court, Lenaola, complaining why we don't have an IEBC. I am surprised that now the same courts have now annulled the laws that were passed by Kenyans. And even this issue of annulling the laws that are passed by Parliament, I think we need to ask ourselves, where is the separation of powers? If Parliament can go through all the processes of developing the laws, and the law is passed as an act of Parliament, and then now the courts come and annul. I think someone somewhere wants us not to have an IEBC. I think someone somewhere wants to illegally stay in office. And this is a conversation that Kenyans must start talking about. Someone somewhere wants us to be in this quagmire for long so that we don't hold election in 2027. It is by design, clearly.
Right, and that is why we take our first commercial break here on KTN News Desk. Please don't go too far. It's brilliant. Welcome back. As always, we appreciate your viewership. Now, young men and women in the Kenya Scouts Association have taken the initiative to advocate for the use of alternative sources of energy as a remedy to dealing with the rising effects of climate change. The initiative comes at a time when countries are feeling the effects of climate change, characterized by the changing weather patterns, rising temperatures, and shrinking ice sheets. Our reporter Clement Masombo spoke to some of them earlier in Nyeri.
Well, today in Nyeri County, I'm joined by a group of youth in the Scouts movement who are camping here in at Kayafa Scouts Center, and they are talking matters to do with the alternative source of energy, and specifically about solar energy. And right away, I will start by speaking to this gentleman here. Kindly start by introducing yourself and tell us the kind of presentations that you have had, and why are you advocating for solar energy as an alternative source of energy in the communities?
Thank you so much. My name is Sheldon Marumbu, the chairperson for the National Youth Forum for Kenya Scouts Association. The climax of our discussion for this year's Zone Forum is solar energy. And it is important for the entire society, the globe at large, to appreciate the importance of solar energy when it comes to sustainability and environmental conservation. So the discussion behind me is how young people can practically come on board to be able to address critical issues when it comes to sustainability and to try and push for solar energy as an alternative means of energy in our communities and societies. And we believe that the discussions that they are having and, going back home to their different countries, they are going to implement that. And we are looking at it as young people from the scouting movement to take the lead, to advocate for solar energy, to use social media platform and different platforms where young people are there to push the agenda of solar energy, of renewable energy and sustainability, and to try to build our societies in a more sustainable way as young people, and just offer leadership as young people and as scouts under Kenya Scouts Association and the different countries that are present here.
Thank you so much. Let me speak to the lady here, and you'll start by introducing yourself and tell us what is the motivation behind you guys pushing for solar energy?
My name is Rodan Degwa. I'm a camp warden at the Kenya Scouts Association, and I'm also a solar ambassador Kenya. My motivation is we want the young people in the community also to appreciate, because most in our community there is those people underprivileged and they don't have because of education. We need also those people underprivileged also to get access to light, and they can study in the evening. And the result is very positive, because most people in the community are appreciating, because we give solar lights in the community. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me speak to this gentleman here. Lastly, you'll start by introducing yourself and tell us perhaps your message, because I understand there's many young people in the Scouts movement, but a number of them seem not to have embraced the use of solar energy. Perhaps what will be your message to them?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Peter. I'm Pumuza, and I'm from Uganda. I also serve as the youth advisor to the Africa Scout Committee. And to just get straight to your question, my advice to my fellow young people is, as the world continues to move, certain resources, oil, these are resources that have an extinction.
Thank you so much. Of course, there you have it from representatives here, of course, speaking on behalf of 7 other countries and advocating for the use of solar energy as an alternative source of energy. Remember, this is coming at a time when the world at large is grappling with dealing with the effects of climate change. And to them, as youth, feel like use of solar energy will be the perfect remedy of dealing with the effects of climate change. So this is a story that, of course, we will keep following up on and relaying it to our viewers in our subsequent bulletins.
Right. Thank you, Clement. At least 90% of residents of the vast and arid North Hall constituency in Marsabit County are still struggling to bounce back on their feet after the devastating adverse impact of the ravaging drought that visited the region between the years of 2019 and 2022. While speaking during a relief food distribution exercise by a South Korean-based Good Neighbors non-profit organization, they recounted the harrowing ordeal several households have been forced to grapple with as a result of the climate change shocks. Abutho Tuye from Koka village recounted how depressing it has become for several parents to watch their children go on empty stomachs.
Kila kitu imeisha ni kuomba. Wakati mtoto analia, baba na mzee pia na bibi pia tunasikia mbaya, because mtoto analilia njaa na uwezi patia kitu because una chakula.
Since 2023 we've had 4 seasons of good rains, and the communities were not able to bounce back because there's not been also any significant intervention by government and also non-state actors to be able to support these communities to go back to their normal life. So we've been having, a lot of distress calls from the communities. Children are really suffering, mothers are really suffering.
We love the people here have supported 15 kilos of maize flour and 6 kgs of beans and 3 liters of cooking oil to 4,000 households. So in terms of value, we can say it is more than 12 million Kenya shillings.
The county government of Kilifi has commenced the rehabilitation of key roads within Malindi town in preparation for the festive season, aimed to enhance the tourist resort town's appeal. On Monday, county officials handed over the sites for the rehabilitation of the BP Alaskan and BP Malindi Sub-County Hospital roads to the contractor, who is tasked with repairing damaged sections and improving the drainage system. This initiative follows numerous complaints from motorists, particularly lorry drivers, who reported vehicle damage at the intersection of the 2 roads with the Malindi-Mombasa highway due to the poor roads.
Magari zetu yamekuwa yakifunjika, ukipita hapa na mzigo, ukifuka ngambo ile unakuta gari imeharibika. Unakaa ngambo ile mpaka unashindwa ufanya nini. Tumejaribu kupeleka malalamishi yetu sana kwa muda mrefu, karibu miaka 2, bado hatujasikika,
lakini kwa sasa tumepatia suluhisho ambao tuna hand over hii site kwa contractor ili iweze kurekebishwa. Hii barabara hapa imekuwa ni matatizo makubwa sana kwa abiria na vile vile kwa wenye magari, lakini tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kupitia kwa serikali ya county haya matatizo yanaenda kuisha, na tayari contractor tumeshamleta kwa site ili aweze kurekebisha hili tatizo.
Kama serikali tumekuwa tukijitayarisha katika mambo ya kutafuta resources katika budget, na hivi sasa tumeweza kusecure pesa katika budget, na ndio maana tumekuja hapa ili kuhakikisha kwamba hii barabara inatengezwa na iweze kurudi katika level ambayo itakuwa inaweza ikatumika, na zile changamoto ambazo road users wamekuwa wakizipata zitakuwa zimeisha.
Now, 6 casualties of Ololunga accidents that claimed the lives of 7 people are receiving treatment at Narok Referral Hospital after referral from Ololunga Sub-County Hospital that admitted them immediately after the accident. According to the Narok Referral Hospital Medical Superintendent, Emejen Losepicho, the other 10 have been treated and discharged, some seeking medical attention in other facilities with Narok and Bomet County. Eldala Nyambeki, a survivor in Narok Referral Hospital, describing the incident as a shock that left her with serious injuries in her back, both legs and one arm.
Nifika hapa asubuhi, habari yenyewe nimepata kupitia dadangu mkubwa ambaye alipigiwa simu na daktari mmoja kutoka hapa hospitali hii ya Narok. Huyu ambaye amelazwa hapa ni mamangu. Alipata ajali jana na ameumia miguu, amevunjika mguu. Naye kwa saizi si mbaya, anaongea. Pia tuko na dada yetu ako ICU. Pia yeye hali yake si nzuri. Ako tu aongei lakini anasikia ukimwongelesha.
Basi ilikuwa inatoka Nairobi na sisi tulikuwa tunatoka Kisii. Ilipita juu yetu. Wengine walikufa papo hapo. Na sisi Mungu ametujalia tuko na uhai.
So sasa ile kitu tungeomba askari ama watu wa NTSA wakati wanapofanya msako wasifanye tu msako kwa magari ya matatu ama mabasi ambayo inabeba abiria. Kama ni operation isiangalie tu matatu, iangalie mpaka hizi magari za private, kuna mabasi, kuna nini na nini.
Epilepsy disease has been classified as one of the most disturbing in the societies, as doctors urge parents and caregivers to make use of going for training to enable them to understand how to handle kids who suffer from epilepsy. Speaking at Kiambu during a sensitive forum aimed at curbing the vice, pioneer of the forum, Mrs. Jane Karaoke, underscored the need for people to come forward and express the needs that have bedeviled their affected families. According to Jane Karaoke, founder and councillor of Bansol Epilepsy Foundation, they are enrolling the kids with epilepsy condition in Taifa Care and SHA registration through paying the annual subscription so that they can be treated without any difficulties.
Epilepsy is a very manageable condition. You just need to get the correct treatment after getting the correct diagnosis. By following the advice of the doctor, then you can be able to have a child who is not seizing and hopefully even get that medication removed after a certain period of seizure freedom.
There are many issues and many areas that we are attending to. First, we are attending to the general public, the adults, those that may have hypertension, those that may have diabetes, those that may have other illnesses. We are attending to them.
Epilepsy is very dangerous. A child can maybe convulse while she's in the fire. So it is important for caregivers to be sensitized, and as National Council for Persons with Disabilities, we are always doing awareness to ensure that parents and caregivers are able to know what to do in case such an occurrence happens.
All right, we take yet another break. When we come back, let's talk money matters with Kelvin Nyakundi.
Hello there. Good afternoon. This is News Desk, and we are now going to be looking at matters business. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Now, Kingdom Bank has moved to stamp its presence across a larger swath of the country after it opened its 23rd branch, this time in Machakos. Now, the new outlet is the fourth to be opened by the bank this year, as the wholly owned subsidiary of Cooperative Bank works to focus more on individuals and small businesses, including traders, small farmers, and key sectors like tourism, capitalizing on the country's renowned scenic beauty and bustling hospitality industry. Now, with a thriving economy and growing demand for accessible banking services in the eastern Kenya region, now the move positions Kingdom Bank to tap into one of Kenya's most promising regions for businesses and investment. Now, Kimiao Fan, who is the World Bank Country Director, has visited Turkana County to witness the impact of World Bank-funded East Africa Transport and Trade Facilitation Development Project that has constructed 330-kilometer Lokicha-Nadepal Road. Now, the construction of the road, essentially part of the Eldoret-Juba corridor, has also seen the construction of essential social infrastructure and laid a fiber optic cable along the road, improving connectivity for communities and the improvement of delivery of essential government services.
In the last 2.5 days, I've traveled 330 kilometers of this beautiful road. This very spot is the beginning of that road that has been upgraded with the support from the World Bank. This road will help to cut the travel time that used to take 2 full days, now down to 8 hours. Just that alone is going to help to improve the competitiveness of the economy here, not just along the road corridor, but across Kenya and all the way through to South Sudan.
Now, the automotive industry players have hailed the government for supporting manufacturing through the review of legal and regulatory reforms that have resulted in a surge in locally assembled vehicles. Now, speaking at the customer launch of UD trucks in Kenya at the new UD truck service facility in Jomvu, Mombasa, Rita Kaveshe, who is the Isuzu East Africa's chairperson of the board and managing director, noted that the review of the tax regime has seen a complete transformation of the assembling industry, where what is produced locally will be 80% and only 20% will be imported.
UD trucks, currently we are assembling all UD trucks at KVM in Thika. Again, a collaboration. You can see how manufacturers can collaborate within the country. So when you buy a UD truck today, it is actually locally produced at the plant at KVM.
In a country like Kenya, logistic is the lifeblood of the society, and logistic will continue to grow. When we see the population size, when we see the youth and the emergence of middle class, there will be more and more goods to transport, and there is a need for a lot of infrastructure to build. Our plan and our aim is that with UD trucks, we will be key player and key actor to support the prosperity of the country.
Now, thousands of residents and revelers gathered at Mama Ngina waterfront to witness the third Firi Cultural Festival and Trade Exhibition to celebrate Somali community heritage. The promoters of the two festivals noted that Mombasa has been chosen since it is a hub for tourism and the gateway to the East African region.
Kama uko mbali sogea karibu ya stage jamani. Kama uko mbali sogea karibu ya stage jamani.
Mombasa is the center of culture and tourism and diversity, and we are very, very honored to be here and to hold this event for the third successive year. Firi Festival and Business Expo basically is about bringing the Somali culture to the rest of Kenyans.
Tumekuja kusherehekea hii festival, Firi Festival ambayo inafanyika hapa Mombasa, na tunafurahi kwa sababu mambo mengi yanafanyika huku. Tuko na East African Games, tuko na conferences zinaendelea, na kwa wakati huu kuna incident yoyote imetoka.
Kenyan diplomats abroad have been urged to prioritize sourcing job opportunities for Kenyan youth and fostering technology exchange to drive national development. Speaking during a visit to the government of the Federal District of Brasilia in Brazil, where he led a delegation from the county government of Machakos for the ongoing Open America engagement, Mwangangi has emphasized that the critical role of the Kenyan diplomatic missions in harnessing international opportunities is for the country's progress.
Tumeona kuna nafasi nyingi za teknolojia, tupate teknolojia mpya ambazo itaenda kusaidia taifa letu na kaunti yetu ya Machakos ama kaunti zingine, iwapo wataenda kupewa hiyo nafasi. Niseme ya kwamba inafaa zaidi sana hawa mabalozi wetu waangalie na wazungumze na private sector na public sector na serikali ambazo wametumwa waone ya kwamba wametafuta nafasi nyingi za biashara, za kazi, za technology exchange, na hiyo itasaidia pakubwa sana kuona kwamba taifa letu limeendelea, na hata mambo ya kazi, nafasi za kazi. Wale watu ambao hawana kazi katika taifa letu na wamesoma, at least tunahakikishia kwamba kupitia umbalozi ama foreign affairs, hizo kazi zimepatikana na watu wameenda.
Welcome, it's now time for sports. My name is Jeff Mugure. In the next 15 minutes, I'll tell you what's the latest from the world of sports. Now we begin in Drought. Caleb Kiprotich is one of the fastest rising tennis stars in the country. His hopes is to conquer the world of tennis and also ensure that he inspires young people from across the country who want to play tennis. Even though the school that he goes to, that is Narok Boys High School, does not have proper equipment and facilities, he hopes one day things will change.
Nikiwa kidato cha pili, wakati nilianza mimi niliona hii game nilikuwa talented. Sasa nikaanza nikacheza hapo, nikatrainiwa, kisha nikacheza games za shule, nikacheza hadi nikafika East Africa, nilikuwa tunafanya pale Rwanda. Hapo ndio nilijifunza mengi. Shule wote tunachezanga, lakini tournaments ndio hatuendangi. Hii sababu shule yetu haiwezi katubea resources yenye zinatosha kutupeleka pale tuende tu participate kwa tournament. Challenges zenye tunapitia ni vitu kama rackets na kitu kama mazoezi kiasi, mtu anayetu train, yani kutupea skills na hizo besa kuleta documents kama vitu kufanya mazoezi. Nikiwatch game ya Federa na skills zenye ninaonanga anatumianga, mimi nimekuwa nikijaribu kutrain kuchua. Siku moja niepuke kuwa moja kati ya wachezaji ambao wanajulikana.
this camp is going to itawasaidia sana. So itawasaidia juu they are going to improve their skills. They are getting exposed because outside there it's very rare to get even courts in our schools and even the equipment, because some of them play on basketball courts. They are lucky, but others play on the grass courts, on the fields, football fields. I think so far CAS will change the direction of the talents in the country.
It's our hopes that Kiprotich will conquer the world and become the next Federer, Djokovic, or even Alcaraz. And now, still in Eldoret, with the Kipchumba Karori volleyball tournament. KCB volleyball team are the 2024 champions of the Kipchumba Karori Eldoret International Volleyball Tournament, which was held in Eldoret, Western Geshu County. The ladies backed the title after upsetting DCI. That's 3-1 in a 4-set thrilling up the cup finals to retain the title, an incredible third consecutive year. The win saw KCB outwit volleyball powerhouses from Kenya and Uganda as well.
We have played very well against Kenya Pipeline. Remember, they beat us 3-2 at Nyayo. We have beaten them 3-0. That's a good start. So the girls have played very well according to our instructions.
We are grateful to God for the wins He gave unto us since yesterday in our pool matches. We managed to win all our matches. They are a good team. Recently, they won against us, but today we are grateful that we have been able to revenge, and that sweet revenge, that is it.
And well, let's now cross over back to Nairobi, where the National Chess Championships were underway and they ended yesterday. Robert Makligeyo emerged the overall winner of the National Chess Championship that came to an end on Sunday at Makini School in Nairobi. Makligeyo emerged victorious after beating defending champion Joseph Methu and was awarded a car. In the ladies category, Sasha Mungeli defended her title after an amazing 7-point run.
I kicked off the tournament with a bad start. I lost my second round. So I was so devastated, but then I thank God for enabling me to reach here and being the best junior.
I had a completely winning position, and I think the nerves got the better of me and I blundered. And I think I was completely lost, but then I just got a sudden surge of energy and I was able to push through and eventually win.
If you look at round 8, just before we played the last round, it was purely, GNCs. One was only 12 years, and under 18 Akuda, and Robert Makligeyo. These are all babies, Someone could not expect for them to win the championship.
And now to Masters Golf, Kenya Railways' John Regilma was crowned the 2024 NCBA Nyali Open Champion after emerging the overall winner of the tournament that ended at the 71 Nyali Golf Club and Country Club course in Mombasa County on Sunday. The 3 days, 54-holes tournament marked the end of this year's 28th Kenya Amateur Golf Championship Series organized by the Kenya Golf Union.
First day, I played +3. The greens were a bit slow. It's because of the rain. Second day, I managed to play -3. And coming on the last day, it was a bit of a pressure. Things didn't go as expected because I was just getting birdies and bogeys. So that will tell you pressure kicked in. But I'm really, really proud. I held it until the last day.
It's been wonderful watching some of the players from last year, Karanga, Lejirma. They've improved their sport, and the more they've played, the better they've become. So watching them, seeing the competition, I know today we expected one person to win and one other person won, but everybody is a winner.
Out of this tournament, we will get to know who are the Kenya amateur players who will be representing Kenya during the magical Kenya Open, and thank you to NCBA for supporting the 26 events that have been played across the country.
Now, Brian Michira and Austin Odongo led the